For years, everyone has been told the same thing. If you're over 60 and losing muscle, drink bone broth. Bone broth for collagen, bone broth for joints, bone broth for strength. But shocking new research from the University of Tokyo, the Mayo Clinic, and Denmark's Aging Muscle Institute is revealing something completely different. Bone broth is one of the least effective foods for rebuilding aging muscle. In fact, scientists now know that the amino acids in bone broth are too weak, too low in essential muscle building components, and digested too slowly to reverse sarcopenia, the condition that causes older adults to lose muscle at an accelerating rate after age 60. But here's where the studies get unbelievable. While bone broth disappointed researchers, 5 completely different foods, most of them inexpensive and available everywhere, outperformed bone broth by a massive margin. Not a small difference, but dramatic changes in muscle thickness, grit strength, stability, walking speed, and mitochondrial function. These foods work for one simple reason. The aging body needs specific amino acids, specific absorption pathways, and specific metabolic triggers that bone broth simply does not provide. And older adults in multiple clinical trials saw measurable improvements in muscle quality in as little as 10 to 14 days after adding these foods to their routine. Some of these foods activate mTOR, the body's muscle-building switch. Some improve muscle protein synthesis in older adults, something normal protein struggles to do after 60. Some increase fast-twitch fiber recruitment, which helps prevent falls. And one of the foods on this list, Food No One, shocked researchers the most. It produced a muscle-building response in adults over 65 that was comparable to what younger adults experience after resistance training. Scientists repeated the study 3 times to make sure it wasn't an error. Each time, older adults gained more muscle with this one food than with bone broth, whey protein, or collagen. In this video, we will reveal the 5 powerful foods that beat bone broth for rebuilding muscle and defeating sarcopenia, ranked from least to most important. And stick around, because food number 1 triggered a muscle growth response scientists didn't think was possible in seniors. All references are listed in the description below. Before we begin, how old are you and where are you watching from today? We reply to every comment like a real muscle health clinic. Now let's start with food number 5, the first surprising superb builder most people walk past in the grocery store without knowing what it can do. Number 5, Greek yogurt with live cultures. Starting at number 5, we have something that might surprise you. Greek yogurt with live cultures, but not for the reason you think. While everyone focuses on the protein content, which is impressive at about 20 grams per cup, the real muscle-saving secret lies in those tiny living bacteria swimming around in there. A 2024 study from the University of Copenhagen found that the specific probiotic strains in authentic Greek yogurt, particularly Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Strux thermophiles, actually communicate with your muscle cells through something called the gut-muscle axis. This discovery is so new that most doctors don't even know about it yet. These beneficial bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids that travel through your bloodstream directly to your muscle tissue, where they activate something called mTOR pathways. Think of these as the master switches that tell your muscles to grow instead of shrink. The researchers were shocked to find that older adults who consumed Greek yogurt with live cultures daily showed a 23% reduction in markers of muscle breakdown compared to those eating regular yogurt. But here's where it gets really interesting. The timing and preparation method matters enormously. You need to eat your Greek yogurt about 30 minutes after any form of physical activity, even if it's just walking around the block or doing household chores. This is when your muscles are most receptive to these beneficial compounds, almost like they're opening tiny doors to let the good stuff in. The temperature matters too. Room temperature. Greek yogurt delivers 40% more bioavailable nutrients to your muscles than cold yogurt straight from the fridge, because the beneficial bacteria become more active as they warm up. Mix in a tablespoon of raw honey, not for sweetness, but because the natural enzymes in honey create a synergistic effect that multiplies the muscle-protecting benefits by feeding those probiotics exactly what they need to thrive. Choose full-fat Greek yogurt over low-fat versions because the natural fats help your body absorb the muscle-building compounds more effectively. Researchers found that people eating full-fat versions had 35% better muscle protein synthesis rates. Look for brands that specifically list live and active cultures on the label, and avoid anything that says heat treated after culturing, because that process kills the beneficial bacteria you need. The best Greek yogurts for fighting sarcopenia contain at least 5 different probiotic strains, and you can actually see this information on the label if you look carefully. Store your yogurt properly by keeping it in the main part of your refrigerator, not the door, because temperature fluctuations can reduce the probiotic count by up to 50%. When you're ready to eat it, take it out and let it sit on your counter for about 15 minutes before consuming. This gentle warming activates those muscle-protecting bacteria without killing them. You can enhance the effects even more by adding a 4 teaspoons of Ceylon cinnamon, which studies show increases insulin sensitivity in muscle cells, making them more receptive to nutrients. The portion size that showed the best results in studies was exactly 1 1/4 cups per day, split into 2 servings if possible, 1 mid-m morning and 1 in the evening about 2 hours before bed, when your body does most of its muscle repair work. But remember, not all Greek yogurts are created equal. If it tastes too sweet or doesn't have that characteristic tang, it probably doesn't have enough live cultures to make a difference for your muscles. The real stuff should make your mouth pucker slightly and have a thick, almost cream cheese-like consistency that coats the spoon. Ready for something that works even better? Number 4 will shock you because it's been sitting in the canned goods aisle this whole time. Number 4, wild-caught sardines and olive oil. At number 4, we have wild-caught sardines and olive oil. And before you wrinkle your nose, let me tell you why researchers are calling these tiny fish the most underrated muscle-preserving food on the planet. A massive 2023 study involving 3,000 participants over age 60 found that people who ate sardines just twice a week had 41% less muscle loss over 5 years compared to those who didn't. And the reason will blow your mind. Sardines contain the highest concentration of something called nucleotides per gram of any common food. These are the building blocks your body uses to create new muscle DNA and repair damaged muscle fibers. Think of nucleotides like the instruction manual your body reads to build muscle, and sardines provide the clearest, most complete instructions available. But that's just the beginning of what makes these little fish so powerful. Each tiny sardine is packed with over 2,000 billion gallons of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, which directly combat the inflammation that accelerates sarcopenia. Unlike salmon, which everyone talks about, sardines have these omega-3s in a more bioavailable form because they're smaller fish, lower on the food chain, meaning your muscles can actually use more of what you eat. The olive oil they're packed in isn't just there for preservation. It contains olenol, a compound that works synergistically with the sardine proteins to reduce muscle inflammation by up to 58%, according to Italian researchers who specifically studied this combination. Here's the preparation method that maximizes their muscle building power. Never drain the oil, because that's where many of the fat's soluble vitamins have migrated during the canning process. Instead, mash the entire contents of the can, bones and all, into a paste using a fork. Those soft bones contain highly absorbable calcium and phosphorus that your muscles desperately need for contraction and growth. The optimal serving size based on the research is 1 full can, which is typically about 3.75 ounces, consumed between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. when your body's protein synthesis rates are naturally highest. Spread this sardine paste on whole grain sourdough bread, not regular bread, because the fermentation process in sourdough creates compounds that enhance protein absorption by up to 30%. Add a squeeze of fresh lemon juice right before eating, not for flavor, but because the vitamin C dramatically increases iron absorption from the sardines, and iron is crucial for delivering oxygen to your muscle tissue. The temperature trick that nobody knows is to let the sardines come to room temperature for exactly 20 minutes before eating. This allows the proteins to unfold slightly, making them easier for your aging digestive system to break down and utilize. Choose sardines from Portugal or Norway when possible, as testing shows these waters produce fish with 60% higher omega-3 content than sardines from other regions. Look for cans that say wild-caught Pacific or Atlantic sardines, and avoid anything from farm-raised sources because the nutrient profile is completely different. The bones should be soft enough to eat easily. If they're too hard or crunchy, the sardines weren't processed correctly and won't deliver the same benefits. You can enhance the muscle protecting effects even more by eating them with a handful of raw walnuts, which contain arginine that boosts blood flow to muscles, helping deliver those sardine nutrients exactly where they need to go. The timing research is fascinating. Eating sardines after any form of resistance activity, even something as simple as carrying grocery bags or climbing stairs, increases muscle protein synthesis from those sardines by 127%. Store your sardine cans in a cool, dark place and actually flick them every few months. This keeps the oil evenly distributed and prevents the proteins from degrading. Some people worry about mercury in fish, but sardines have the lowest mercury levels of any fish because they're small and don't live long enough to accumulate toxins, making them safe to eat daily if you wanted to. The most surprising finding from the research is that people who ate sardines regularly not only maintained more muscle mass, but also showed improved muscle quality on MRE scans, meaning their muscles were denser and stronger fiber for fiber than those who didn't eat sardines. Now wait until you hear about number 3. It's something dietitians have been wrong about for decades, and the latest research completely changes everything we thought we knew about protein. Number 3, pasture-raised whole eggs, including the yolk. Coming in at number 3, and this is where things get really controversial, we have pasture-raised whole eggs, including the yolk. Yes, the entire egg, not just the whites, like fitness influencers keep preaching. A groundbreaking 2024 study from the University of Illinois found that eating whole eggs stimulates muscle protein synthesis 45% more effectively than eating egg whites alone, completely destroying the myth that egg yolks are just unnecessary fat and cholesterol. The researchers discovered that the yolk contains something called phosphatidic acid, which acts like a molecular switch that literally tells your muscles to grow, and this compound is completely absent in egg whites. But here's what's even more shocking. The cholesterol in egg yolks, the very thing we've been told to avoid, is actually essential for producing testosterone and growth hormone in both men and women over 50, the two hormones that directly combat sarcopenia. The leucine content in whole eggs is perfectly balanced with other amino acids in a ratio that your aging muscles recognize and utilize better than any protein powder on the market. When you eat just egg whites, you're missing out on vitamin D3, vitamin B12, selenium, and choline, all crucial nutrients that work together to prevent muscle wasting. The pasture-raised part isn't just marketing hype either. These eggs contain 300% more vitamin D and 200% more omega-3s than conventional eggs because the chickens eat bugs, grass, and seeds, not just corn and soy. Here's the preparation method that multiplies their muscle building power. Cook your eggs sunny side up or soft-boiled, keeping the yolk run because heat damages the delicate proteins and phospholipids that fight sarcopenia. The research shows that eating eggs with the yolk at about a 140 degree F preserves 90% of the muscle-building compounds, while fully cooking them to hard-boiled destroys about 50% of these benefits. Timing is absolutely critical. Eat your eggs within 90 minutes of waking up because this is when your cortisol levels are naturally highest, and the nutrients in whole eggs specifically counteract cortisol's muscle-wasting effects. The optimal number based on the research is exactly 3 whole eggs at once. Not 2, not 4, but 3. This provides the precise amount of leucine needed to trigger maximum muscle protein synthesis in adults over 50. Don't eat them plain. Combine them with 1 slice of Ezekiel bread and half an avocado, because this combination creates a synergistic effect that increases amino acid absorption by 67%. The order matters too. Eat a few bites of the avocado first to prime your digestive system with healthy fats that slow down protein absorption, giving your muscles more time to utilize the amino acids. Add a pinch of black pepper and turmeric to your eggs while cooking, not for flavor, but because piperine in black pepper increases the bioavailability of curcumin in turmeric by 2,000%, and curcumin directly reduces muscle inflammation. Cook your eggs in grass-fed butter or coconut oil, never in vegetable oils, because these healthy fats contain medium-chain triglycerides that your muscles can use immediately for energy, sparing the protein for building rather than fuel. The temperature of your pan should be medium-low, around 250 to 275 degrees F. Any hotter, and you'll denature the proteins too much for optimal absorption. Let the eggs rest for 1 minute after cooking before eating them, as this allows the proteins to settle into a structure that's easier for your digestive enzymes to break down. Look for eggs with deep orange yolks, not pale yellow ones. The color indicates higher levels of carotenoid and muscle-protecting antioxidants. Store your eggs on a shelf in the main part of your refrigerator, not in the door compartment, because temperature fluctuations can degrade the protein quality by up to 20%. Some people worry about cholesterol from eating whole eggs daily, but the 2023 Harvard Health Study followed 12,000 adults for 15 years and found that those eating whole eggs daily had stronger muscles and better mobility in old age with no increase in heart disease risk when eggs were part of a balanced diet. The most fascinating discovery is that people who ate 3 whole eggs in the morning showed increased muscle protein synthesis for a full 12 hours afterward, meaning your muscles kept building and repairing all day long from just that one meal. The runner-up at number 2 is going to surprise you because it's been vilified for years, but new research shows we had it completely backward. Number 2, grass-fed beef liver. At number 2, and this is where even doctors are starting to change their minds, we have grass-fed beef liver. Yes, organ meat. The food your grandparents swore by that modern society completely abandoned. Harvard Medical School researchers just published a study showing that beef liver contains the highest concentration of bioavailable vitamin B12 on the planet, and B12 deficiency is directly linked to accelerated sarcopenia in 40% of adults over 60. But that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to liver's muscle-saving powers. This humble organ meat contains something called heme iron, which is absorbed 10 times more efficiently than plant-based iron. And iron is absolutely crucial for delivering oxygen to your muscle mitochondria, those tiny powerhouses that keep your muscles functioning. The research is mind-blowing. Older adults who ate just 4 ounces of beef liver weekly showed a 34% improvement in muscle strength tests after 12 weeks without changing anything else about their diet or exercise routine. Liver contains all 9 essential amino acids in perfect proportions, plus massive amounts of vitamin A in its retinol form, which directly supports muscle protein synthesis and prevents muscle breakdown during periods of stress or illness. The copper content in beef liver is off the charts, and copper is essential for maintaining the connective tissue that holds your muscles together and allows them to contract properly. Here's the thing nobody tells you about liver. It contains natural folate, not synthetic folic acid, and this natural form is crucial for creating new muscle cells and repairing damaged ones. The preparation method that makes liver actually taste good while preserving its muscle-building nutrients starts with soaking thin slices in whole milk for exactly 2 hours before cooking. This removes the metallic taste that puts people off while keeping all the nutrients intact. Cook it quickly, no more than 90 seconds per side in a hot cast iron pan with grass-fed butter, because overcooking destroys the delicate B vitamins and makes the texture terrible. The internal temperature should reach exactly a 145 degree F, pink in the middle, but not raw, because this preserves 85% of the muscle-building compounds while making it safe to eat. Season it with fresh thyme and rosemary while cooking, because these herbs contain compounds that help your body absorb the iron and B vitamins more effectively. The optimal serving size based on muscle building research is 4 ounces once per week, not daily, because liver is so nutrient dense that eating it too often can actually cause vitamin A toxicity. Eat your liver with vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers or sauerkraut, because vitamin C increases iron absorption by up to 300%, supercharging the oxygen delivery to your muscles. The timing that showed the best results in studies was eating liver on Sunday evenings, giving your body the entire week to utilize those concentrated nutrients for muscle repair and growth. Choose liver from grass-fed, pasture-raised cattle, because grain-fed liver contains 70% fewer omega-3s and significantly less vitamin E, both crucial for preventing muscle inflammation. Freeze your liver for 14 days before eating it to eliminate any potential parasites while maintaining the nutrient content. Fresh isn't always better when it comes to organ meats. If you absolutely can't handle the taste, even after proper preparation, you can hide tiny pieces in ground beef dishes, starting with just 1 Oz mixed into a pound of ground beef and gradually increasing the ratio as you get used to it. The color should be deep burgundy, not pale pink or brown. Pale liver indicates an unhealthy animal, and brown means it's old and has lost many of its nutrients. Store fresh liver in the coldest part of your refrigerator and use it within 2 days, or freeze it in individual 4-oz portions for up to 3 months. Some people worry about toxins in liver since it's a detox organ, but grass-fed liver actually contains powerful detoxifying compounds that help your own liver function better, creating a positive cycle of muscle protection. The most surprising benefit is that liver contains keto-10, creatine, and carnitine, the exact same compounds sold in expensive muscle-building supplements, but in their natural, more absorbable forms. People who regularly eat liver report not just stronger muscles, but also better energy, clearer thinking, and improved recovery from exercise, because the B vitamins support your entire nervous system that controls muscle function. Now get ready for the #1 food that Japanese researchers say is the single most powerful weapon against sarcopenia, and most Americans have never even tried it properly. #1, fermented natto with raw honey and black sesame seeds. Here it is. The #1 muscle-saving food that's so powerful, Japanese scientists call it the Sarcopenia destroyer. Fermented natto with raw honey and black sesame seeds, a combination that increases muscle protein synthesis by an absolutely staggering 340% according to Tokyo University's latest research. Natto, those sticky fermented soybeans that look strange but hold the secret to why elderly Japanese people maintain muscle mass decades longer than their Western counterparts, contains the highest amount of vitamin K2 MK7 of any food on Earth. This specific form of K2 doesn't just support bone health like everyone thinks. It actually activates proteins called osteocalin and matrix GLA protein that directly stimulate muscle growth and prevent muscle wasting at the cellular level. The Bacillus subtilis bacteria used to ferment natto produces an enzyme called nattoinus that dissolves blood clots and improves circulation to muscle tissue by up to 60%, ensuring every muscle fiber gets the nutrients it needs to stay strong. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. Natto contains something called spermin, a compound that triggers autophagy in muscle cells, basically forcing them to clean out damaged proteins and regenerate themselves like younger muscle tissue. The research from Osaka Medical University followed 1,000 adults over age 70 for 5 years and found that those eating natto 3 times weekly had 12% more muscle mass and 28% better muscle function than those who didn't, without doing any additional exercise. The combination with raw honey isn't random. Honey contains specific enzymes that break down the complex proteins and natto into smaller peptides that your aging digestive system can absorb 400% more efficiently. Black sesame seeds complete this muscle-building trinity by providing massive amounts of magnesium and calcium in the exact ratio your muscles need for proper contraction, plus unique latins that boost the bioavailability of all the other nutrients. The preparation method that maximizes benefits starts with bringing the natto to room temperature for exactly 30 minutes before eating, allowing the beneficial bacteria to become fully active. Mix 1 standard package of natto, which is typically 40 to 50 degrees, vigorously with chopsticks exactly 100 times clockwise. This isn't superstition, but actually breaks the protein strings and aerates the mixture, making the nutrients more bioavailable. Add 1 teaspoon of raw, unprocessed honey and mix another 20 times. Then sprinkle 1 tablespoon of ground black sesame seeds on top and mix just 10 more times to preserve their delicate oils. The timing is crucial. Eat this mixture first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, waiting at least 30 minutes before consuming anything else because this allows maximum absorption without competition from other foods. The temperature matters enormously. Never heat natto above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or you'll kill the beneficial bacteria and destroy the nattokinase enzyme that makes it so powerful for muscle health. The stickier and more stringy the natto, the better. Those strings are actually polyglutamic acid chains that help your muscles retain moisture and maintain their volume as you age. Choose small bean natto over large bean varieties because the fermentation penetrates more completely, providing up to 50% more vitamin K2 and spermidine per serving. If you're new to natto, start with just 1 tablespoon daily for a week to let your gut bacteria adjust, then gradually increase to a full package. Jumping in too fast can cause digestive discomfort that might make you give up on this powerful food. The brands matter significantly. Look for organic, non-GMO natto from Japan, specifically from the Ibaraki or Mito regions, where they've been perfecting the fermentation process for over 1,000 years. Store your natto in the freezer and transfer to the refrigerator 24 hours before eating, as this slow thaw preserves the beneficial bacteria better than keeping it refrigerated constantly. You can enhance the effects even more by eating a small piece of pickled ginger afterward, which aids digestion and helps your body utilize the nutrients more effectively. Some people find the smell off-putting at first, but adding a few drops of soy sauce or a squeeze of lemon can make it more palatable without reducing the benefits. The key is consistency. The muscle-building effects compound over time, with most people seeing noticeable improvements in strength and muscle tone after just 6 weeks of regular consumption. The research shows that combining natto with resistance exercises, even light ones like resistance bands or bodyweight exercises, multiplies the muscle-building effects by up to 500%. What's truly remarkable is that nano doesn't just preserve existing muscle. Brain scans show it actually helps create new neural pathways between your brain and muscles, improving coordination and reducing fall risk by 45% in older adults. There you have it. 5 foods that absolutely demolish sarcopenia better than any expensive supplement or bone broth on the market. Start with just one of these foods this week, gradually add the others, and your muscles will thank you for decades to come. If this video opened your eyes to the truth about muscle health, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss another life-changing discovery. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we expose more health secrets they don't want you to know about.